Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Sunday School with me, your host, Sarah, in the Lux 10 Temple. We are going to do our usual divination, where I pull 3 cards for how you, in particular, this week can cultivate your version of heaven upon earth. Okay? So go ahead and pick a card. Pick card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. I am using maybe a little bit of a ridiculous deck. I happen to have a great love of unicorns. And so I got this unicorn deck. Just indulging in my love of fantasy, fantastical. This is a very, I would call it whimsical deck. There's a lot of white unicorns, just a lot of white unicorns. So join me in the unicorn party this week. Okay, sorry, I just shook everything. Okay, so here we go. Did I smear my lipstick? No, okay. Let's go ahead and get right down to business. So I hope you picked card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. Now fast forward to your card. You can do all 3, but you'll have to figure that interpretation out for yourself. Card numero 1. How do you cultivate heaven upon earth this week? Okay. Card number 1. What is this? Oh, the King of Pentacles. What a peaceful king. I love this. He's in his green robe, green heart chakra, anahata. He's got a very cozy unicorn. Okay, that's so cute. Okay, so very connected to earth, this king of Pentacles. Pentacles is the earth element, 100%. So what does it mean when you have a King of Pentacles as your cue, your work to do in cultivating heaven upon earth? So maybe you need to cultivate your own King of Pentacles within you. If that is the case, your king is about leadership, and it's also about feeling grounded and enthroned when you're the King of Pentacles. It's also about being able to cultivate a sense of wealth and abundance, which is directly connected to resources, to the earth's supply chain, okay? So like if you have your own business, think about where you're getting your raw materials from, and are they connected to the earth? With the unicorn, there's always a sense of innocence about things and a sense of care and preciousness, okay? Because unicorns are rare. And so with this King of Pentacles, you're working with some rare, precious thing in your life, and it is connected to the earth. So it could literally be, I mean, money is not necessarily connected to the earth anymore unless you're actually still using dollars and physical change. But there are lots of investments in currencies that are connected to earth-based things. So it's like, think about your connection to wealth and to the earth. Think about what are your assets. And almost also just having gratitude for those things and the earth origin of where those things came from, okay? There's also, with King of Pentacles, he's somebody who really is a caretaker of the people around him, of his loved ones. He builds a community based on his wealth. And so this is really making me think of an I Ching hexagram, which talks about imagining yourself as the king who bestows bounty and abundance upon all who come into contact with you, okay? So that is really connecting with your your ability to share abundance, no matter how much you have. A lot of times we think, oh, I don't really have enough. Like, I can't take like a group of people out to, a fancy restaurant or whatever and pay for it all. That wouldn't really fit in my budget. But it doesn't have to be like that. You share what you have. So you can give a small gift that's appropriate. Maybe you find a really special, meaningful book for a person, or you have a special, meaningful book that happens to align with something a friend that's over at your house is going through, okay? Um, or you have like a special dish that you can cook for a friend that comes over, or a couple of friends that come over. So it doesn't need to be like grandiose and regal. It's really about having that sense of authority to be able to provide for in a very grounded and physical way. So it's like offering a physical gift, okay? And we all have that. You all have this ability, whether you're in a male or female body, okay? And really, when you take on this character, a lot of poverty consciousness or fear of having enough, it just absolutely starts to disappear. Because when you get into the flow of giving, things are given back to you very easily. So sometimes when we're in positions of powerlessness, the way we bring back a sense of harmony, heaven on earth, is to imagine that we are the king and to share whatever it is that we have, knowing that more is always going to come. More is always going to come. That's how kings become kings, is that they trust in their ability to maintain relationships with sources that bring them abundance, and they provide that source that brings them abundance something else. So it's really all about maintaining relationships with sources of abundance, not in a shallow way, but in an open, infinite exchange sort of way, okay? Because you're always going to be giving something in order to get something, okay? And the more you give, the more you're going to get. Okay, is there anything else about the King of Pentacles for bringing heaven to earth this week? So you may also have a King of Pentacles in your life. Who is providing for you? Who wants to give to you? Who wants to share something with you? Who wants to protect you? Who wants to care for you? So honestly, if you do have that person in your life, if there's any resistance to that, to coming into the fold of this King's generous heart, release that resistance and know that it's time for you to accept a gift. Sometimes we need to learn how to accept a gift from people that have more than us in order to bring harmony into the situation. When we have resistance, that means no harmony is allowed. When we allow what's there to come, we enter into the stream of harmony. So sometimes it is harder to accept gifts than to give gifts, because that demands a position of vulnerability. So, but I really just feel like it's okay this week, if you're the unicorn, if you're in the position to receive a gift from somebody who has more than you, or maybe just more material wealth than you at this time, come into the fold of this King's heart and allow yourself to receive from that person, who may be a male, a female, a they, who knows, non-binary, could be anything. Okay, so that's it for card number 1. Moving right along to card number 2. All right, card number 2. Card number 2, how do you cultivate heaven upon earth this week? The 6 of Wands. That's victory, recognition. That is the hero, okay? So that's oftentimes, it is a call to action. Go out and be seen. Show what you've got to show. Wear your best clothes. Bring all of your light, or all of your dark. What kind of crowd are you hanging out in? I don't know. But bring your treasures. Bring your treasures. Bring your gifts. Step into the limelight. Be seen. This one came up like a few weeks ago, I remember. So this is really about not being afraid to take on the difficult or challenging mission, not being afraid to be seen, okay? Not being afraid to step into your ego, and play with it, okay? Um, and sometimes we also can bring heaven to earth by simply doing what brings us joy. Simply doing what brings us joy. And sometimes we just need to do what our ego wants to do, okay? And sometimes we manifest those things without even trying. So sometimes people will call us into the limelight to be seen, to be honored, to even just to like go out dancing, right? That's like sharing your energy. But sometimes people will call us to those things because like our ego is really wanting to be seen. And we may not even know it or realize it, but we've actually manifested it from our subconscious. So simple things, simple things. Allow yourself to be the center of attention. It's okay. Don't force it, of course. And then also, though, you may be coming upon somebody who is in a Six of Wands position, who wants validation, who wants attention, okay? These are all things that are not considered, the most superior forces in the world, but they are all things that living in an ego that we need. We need validation and others need validation. That's part of community and building community. And there's really honestly like a sense of vulnerability when you start to think about, gosh, I really wish I'd be recognized for this thing that I have to offer. And sometimes you're not okay with that and you like work really hard at being good at something, but then you won't be vulnerable and you refuse to like let somebody know that you want to be seen, and so you don't get the validation and the recognition that you're looking for because you're kind of staying hidden behind a wall. So this is also to come out from behind your wall, okay? To come out from behind your wall and to take on the mission, to be seen. Allow yourself to be seen, and allow yourself to be recognized for what you have to offer. And then again, oh, so this is the fun trick. If you're not getting recognized for what you have to offer, the way that you bring that energy into your life is that you start recognizing what other people have to offer, okay? And you start like consciously making an effort to say like, wow, I love that toast you made me. It gave me the silliest thing. Or I love how you put your outfit together. I love the story you posted. I love the work that you do for such and such. I love how you're kind to strangers. I love how you always go out of your way to remember my birthday. So just think about that. And that's really just going into the current of gratitude and recognition. Gratitude and recognition. So those are the keys. Gratitude and recognition this week, okay? For self and for others. Okay, card number three. Card number three. How do you bring cultivate heaven to earth this week? 10 of Cups. Beautiful, glorious, beautiful, glorious. So, 10 of Cups. We've got a rainbow. We've got dancing. We've got a couple with matching hair, okay? So this is a family, okay? This is a family. Doesn't mean it is your biological family. This is a family where you feel supported, you feel loved, you feel seen, you feel recognized, you feel harmony, you feel community, you feel communion, you feel unjudged in this family. So this can be a community, this can be your, I like to call it star family, like your cosmic family. This can be like a work family that you really love. It can be a few best friends. It can be your partner and your animals, or your partner and your kids, okay? But whatever this is literally the heaven on earth card, okay? The rainbow is the rainbow bridge, essentially. That's how I always think of the symbol, as the rainbow, which is bringing the beauty and the infinite love of heaven onto the earth plane, okay? And realizing that they always were united. We just forgot because we got busy in our ego identities. When we exist in this 10 of Cups land, cups are the heart. Cups are love. Cups are gratitude, generosity, abundance. These are all things that exist within you. And when you truly embrace them on the inside, they begin to appear on the outside. Now, if you are living in a state of poverty or darkness or despair, it's going to take some work before you find this on the external plane. And you may not even think that you want this until you start to cultivate love in your heart and remember how good it feels. And then you might remember that you actually do want something like this with maybe some different outfits, perhaps. So, how do you cultivate love in your heart? How do you cultivate your body, your consciousness as a 10 of Cups landscape? Well, first of all, you've got to surrender. You've got to surrender. You've got to surrender. Okay? If you haven't surrendered yet, which is surrender to love, well, then you will never, ever find this landscape on the earth plane, because it must exist within you. And harmony is achieved through surrender. Through surrender. Surrender opens the gates and allows light and love to flow through. Okay? The rainbow bridge is also your chakras, from the densest root chakra, red, moving up to orange, to yellow, to green, to blue, to purple, to violet, or to white, to your crown chakra, to the infinite, okay? Now, most people on earth these days tend to live in the red, the orange, maybe they get to the yellow, okay? So we're talking about survival, we're talking about creative energy, procreation, and we're talking about will and drive, okay? And then to get to the heart center, that is key, opening the heart center to get to 10 of Cups, heaven upon earth, community. This is where judgment drops away. This is where isolation drops away. This is where pain is healed. Pain is healed when you start to open that heart chakra, okay? And then certainly follows the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra. So chakra work as well, okay? You can do meditations, you can do sound baths. I'm trying to start streaming my sound baths, but I'm having trouble. I have some ideas. Some people have helped me with how to start streaming my sound baths. But sound baths are a really wonderful, fairly effortless way to start to open and harmonize your chakras. Sound is such an incredible healing energy. There's also like solfeggio frequencies, healing frequencies. If you just want the simplest, most free thing to do to start opening and aligning your chakras, start looking up sound healing chakra frequencies on YouTube. Solfeggio ones are really good, but there's a whole bunch of them out there, and you have to feel it out and feel what feels good to you. So what's the summary here? The summary here. Surrender to infinite love, heaven upon earth. Surrender to heaven on earth. Surrender to the possibility also of this perfect union, this divine union, which is simple. It's so simple. There's so many experimentations going out there right now. There's so many like gender identities. There's so many people experimenting and mixing it up, and trying all these different things, like trying the different, like what's the fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood, trying the different porridges, stuff like that. But it's really actually a lot simpler than going to try all these external ingredients to bring you happiness, which is what I see a lot in the dating and kind of like more open, expressive dating cultures that are happening right now, which is perfectly fine. It's a process that's breaking old status quo bonds, which I think is healthy. But ultimately, when it comes to fulfillment, if you're looking for happiness, it's really going to come from opening your heart to and surrender. You guys, surrender. So many people say, like, I know what I want, I've manifested it, I've chosen it, I've written down the list, but I keep getting like these jerks, these narcissists. Everybody's dating a narcissist. That's the hot word these days, or sociopath. But the reason is because everybody's guarded and nobody's opening their heart. So everybody's attracting other guarded people, and there's no heaven upon earth, because that requires ultimate vulnerability and ultimate surrender. So that's it. I could just talk about this forever. I could just probably write a book on it. So surrender love. Surrender to love. Beautiful. Okay. Accept love. Accept love. Don't miss it. It could be right next to you and you're not seeing it. Pay attention. Pay attention. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and for doing the work of cultivating heaven upon earth. There are a lot more of us than our little community. And the more that we do this, the more contagious that vibration becomes. Thank you all for sharing your stories and experiences with the cards. It makes me so happy to hear that these are helping you guys and to hear your personal journeys. Feel free to DM me for a reading. I'm gonna try and do next week's Sunday school. I will be traveling. I'll be in Los Angeles. I may be doing some readings in person in Los Angeles. DM me if you're in LA and you want a reading. We'll see what we can work out. Or Reiki healing. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I will hopefully see you guys next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.